Hello and welcome to episode 333 of the Player One podcast for Monday, March 11th, 2013. You can't tell that I'm reading this at all. With me as always is my
move when he reads.
With me as always is my co-host, a guy whose SpongeBob SquarePants Dilly Dabbler post is consistently the #1 trafficked page on PlayerOnePodcast.com, Mr. Phil Cool Ranch Theobald.
Is it actually?
It is.
Yeah, well, you know
every single day.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
That script you wrote is working wonders.
I don't know who is I don't know if that got linked or something. I'm going to explain that real quick.
Go for it.
Please do, because I don't know what in the Chinese hell he is talking about.
There's a separate Chinese hell?
Come on. You know there is.
Okay. Back in the day when I worked at Digitally Clips.
Oh, it's going to be a long story. Hang on, let me get my DS.
One of the games that I worked on that I produced. F you.
Oh wow!
F
Ready?
Right in your Canadian butthole. Yeah.
Do Canadians have separate buttholes?
Hey, come on, you know they do.
They do. Not where you think. Not where you think, but they do.
Right under the nose.
Right on the kneecap.
Yeah. SpongeBob Dilly Dabbler was one of the TV games that I worked on.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was a little kids' activity center type thing. And we did not come up with a name. That was Nickelodeon. And
it sounds vaguely masturbatory, just so you know.
Again, we did not come up with the name. That was Nickelodeon. We did also not design the extremely phallic Spider-Man joystick that I worked on either. But a while ago, I captured some footage of the SpongeBob Dilly Dabbler and threw it up on YouTube.
Yes.
Just because there was no real footage of it on the internet at all. And somehow that video has 3.3 million views right now.
Fucking hell.
I know, right? And in the description, I link to a blog post that I put up on the Player One blog where I describe
why.
So I mean that's where it's coming from.
Page is so highly trafficked.
But I have no idea why so many people are going to that video in the first place. It's like I figured the only people who cared.
Well, the other thing is people are searching for Dilly Dabbler on Google and then coming to PlayerOnePodcast.com.
What?
So people are actively searching this thing out. It's great.
Man, I'll bet you most of the people who are searching for Dilly Dabbler on Google are very disappointed when they get up at a SpongeBob SquarePants page.
An entirely different type of content.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
This isn't what she said it was at all.
Joining us from the Great White North is a guy who has decided to revise his review score for Chrono Cross to 4.0 because of Square Enix's draconian app pricing practices, Mr. Greg Stewart.
I don't mean to alarm anyone, but as I rebooted my computer to start this podcast, I got a message from Steam that said the server may be down because it couldn't connect, so we should take a few moments to go adjust every Steam review score we've ever been.
All Steam games are now zeros until the server is back up.
It's the only fair way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And joining us from the great state of Utah is a guy who will soon be kickstarting a trip to Venice because he's always wanted to see the picturesque canals, Mr. Mike Phillips.
Only you can help me finance my bucket list, dear listener. Make my dreams a reality.
Yeah, a bunch of douchebags in the intros this week.
That's true. Yeah. So should we just start by talking about SimCity?
I'm just going to start by saying the internet is the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh my god, is it ever? This is the best week.
Hold on.
This has been one of the most entertaining weeks in the world.
And it's still going,
Yeah,
too.
look-
Oh no.
Oh god.
We've got a live Dina meeting.
I got my Doritos here. I don't have any dew to slam.
Have you tried those yet, by the way?
I have
after
not.
my recommendation?
The bag is still sealed. Here, I'll do a live.
You've had it for like a frickin' week. You tweeted about it ages ago.
I was saving it for today.
Don't do that right into the microphone. That's really going to sound bad.
You're going to sound bad. Here we go.
Let me see it first. Let me see what it looks like.
Looks like a.
Okay.
It looks like a funny cigarette.
Disgusting.
So okay.
See it like a funny cigarette.
Wow.
This is great radio.
Yeah.
These are hard.
That's what
Yes,
she
they
said.
are.
She said.
Why did she say these? What kind of slut is she?
She's at a party.
My God.
There were car keys involved. And
All right. Should we talk about SimCity?
Yeah,
Now that
those
we've
are not bad.
had our snack.
Yeah.
4.0.
Got the Doritos dust on the fingertips. We're ready to play video games.
One rolled up chip puts a surprising amount of Dorito dust on my fingers. So,
Yeah.
and my controllers are going to be stained red tonight. So go on, SimCity.
So SimCity.
What
Who
about
bought it? Who's been playing it?
I've been playing it.
I don't think anyone's playing it.
I just started it last night. Put in a few hours with it.
You've
So.
probably played it more than I have. Because
Really?
I've owned it since it launched, so last night.
Oh
was
well,
the first
yeah,
time
that's
I played
true.
it.
So is it actually functioning now?
Yeah, it is. Actually, it's been functioning on and off most of the week. I only had one day, well, not even a day, one time when I went to hook up that I couldn't actually play.
Okay.
But again,
the thing
I
about
haven't
it, you
been
have to
trying
wait.
to play.
Don't you have to wait 20 minutes every time you
Yes.
try to connect and it fails?
What?
Yes.
Yeah. There's a
Yeah, so the
counter
way
that
it
counts
works
down
is if
20
you get
minutes.
on there and the servers aren't very happy, it puts you in a queue. It says it's putting you in a queue. What it's doing is waiting 20 minutes to try again.
Yeah.
And then it'll try again, and then I think it's every 3 minutes after that. It'll keep
Okay.
trying. So
The other
But
thing
I
that really
haven't had
sucks
much
is
issues.
to play with your friends, you have to be on the same server as them.
it's very fun.
And because I did not get the game until a few days after my friends, when I went to join them on their server, the server was full. So I cannot
nice.
join my friends on
But
that server.
that's not necessarily the case. You can still get on any server. Is it the North American East 2?
Yes.
Because I had a bunch of people join that in the last day or so.
Okay. Well, the times that I've logged on, it said it's full. So
Okay.
I don't know what that means. If that's forever, or if that's just based on who's
I think-
currently playing it, or
I think
what.
it's based on
but
current volume.
either way, it's a pain in the ass.
That is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
So,
mean,
what do you think of
what do
the
you think of the game itself? Since you actually got to play it, Mike.
I like it. I can tell already though that it's going to have the same effect on me as every SimCity game ever has. And I love SimCity, but it's always building a city is really, really fun. Maintaining a city sucks ass. And I can already tell that it's going to be the same kind of thing here.
And where the surface area that you get to use is so much smaller now.
Yeah, you're
the
going to
building
reach
city part is going to happen pretty fast.
absolutely.
That's horrible.
Well,
don't
you're limited
understand
because they want you to connect with other people to kind of work together, right?
Yeah, well, and actually, I
That's
kind
the
of
social component of this game.
yeah, I think the small city size is. I'm not crazy about it. I think it's a little bit too small, but I kind of like the idea too because I know in the past with SimCity, like for me, I enjoy building the city too, but after a while, it just gets to the point where it's completely out of control. Like I can't maintain it while I'm building it because it just becomes such a huge sprawl.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that it's more limited, and I do like the regional stuff. I do like working with neighboring cities, and like being like doing things like not having to necessarily build a power plant when you start because you can just buy power from other people if they have
Right.
access.
Mm-hmm.
Or water, or coal, or if you build a coal plant and you want to just buy coal, you can gift it to people. Also, things like police and fire coverage. As you build fire stations or police stations or hospitals, you get extra vehicles that you can assign to other cities. So that's a little bit of free coverage for them, and I think it brings a little bit of money into your city as well. So I really like that there's sort of an ecosystem there based on other people playing. The regional thing is cool.
I wish you could make it so that, I mean, at least when you're starting out, I would rather put together one where the neighboring towns are run by AI mayors.
Mm-hmm.
So that they're just computer controlled, and it could be functionally a single player game that's teaching you how to do the social aspect of it by giving you computer controlled cities to interact with.
That would have been nice. And there's downsides to it as well. I mean, I'm in one region. I think actually it's the region where a lot of the Player One people are. I think there was an abandoned city.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a crime problem in the region in general because I guess the way it works is all the people from that abandoned city are becoming criminals in other cities or something along those lines. So yeah, I mean, there's ups and downs to it, but I think it's a really cool element of the game. I don't know that it's been done exactly right, but it's new to SimCity, which is nice.
Did you ever play SimCity Social?
No.
Because it had elements of this, for sure. I mean, except that you had to actively harass your friends in order to get help to continue playing the game. But I actually really liked SimCity Social right up until the point where I had to harass my friends. So I kind of like this model too, where you're having other people help you. I just wish there was a way to make it computer controlled. In terms of the way they changed the game itself, like visually and the interface and that, I really like.
I think it's a beautiful looking game.
Yeah.
And it's
really smooth and seamless. And I love you can be a little bit more creative. You can draw curved roads and mess with it. You can't. The only thing that sucks is you can't change the terrain. You have preset terrain that you can use. That kind of sucks. I wish you could do some terraforming a little bit.
So I'm running 2 cities right now, and there's one in the region where all the Player One people are at, and then there's one region that me and I think there's like 8 other people that I work with have running as well. And in that region, I chose an area of land that was basically on a plateau. But the connector to the highway was on ground level.
Yeah.
So, not knowing how the road system would work and knowing that I can't actually change the features of the landscape, I decided to build like a medium density avenue up the side of the mountain. But when I did that, I didn't realize like if it can't just plaster the road to the side of the mountain, it'll create bridges.
Right.
But those are like exorbitantly expensive, right? Like they're insanely expensive. So I built one, and then I used the free draw tool to draw my way up the side of the mountain. You need to be watching the YouTube video to see what I'm doing here. So I spent all my money on it, basically.
So you have a suspension bridge that's weaving back and forth up the hillside.
The best part was, because I didn't do it, I didn't check the camera angles properly. When I finished and I was completely out of money, I realized that the part that I'd drawn freely and the bridge that I built with the straight line tool weren't connected.
Oh, God. Oops.
And because of the bridge, I didn't have anywhere to actually plop down any kind of zoning, like to get some tax money and stuff like that. So I had to destroy the whole thing.
Wow.
So I had some people at work that were there with me, and they said, well, you should just abandon this and start again, because this is like, no, I'm not going to do that, because I created this situation. Now I'm going to see what I can get out of it. So I took out 2 loans before I'd even laid a road.
This is really simulating your real life.
You know what? The city's still it's still going. It's actually growing. I'm in positive cash flow again. And all it is literally like 1 block of residential at the bottom of this mountain, and then this long, winding dirt road up to the real city. And, yeah, but hey,
I want to live in that city.
A lot of good wind up there for wind power, so at least I'm powering my place cheaply.
I really love the curved roads, but I wish that it did a better job of either constraining you in a way to the way that you draw them, or that it had more variability in the lots that you could place, because you end up screwing yourself really badly drawing curved roads, because you end up with a whole lot of wasted space that you can't put things in, and that's kind of
I would really love to have some kind of even maybe grace period after you draw a road that maybe you could go back and move some of the pieces around a little bit, because inevitably you'll get that one little like kink in the road that you didn't want.
Yeah,
and you'll have to escape out of it.
Yeah, the other thing that still bugs me, and this is the same way in every SimCity game, so it's not really unique to this, but when you're starting out and you don't have a lot of money, it's really hard to plan a big city. Like, I want to put my industrial way over here and my commercial and residential here, but you can't really do that at the beginning, and so you end up designing and redesigning as you go, which is kind of a pain in the butt, but I think that's probably what they want you to do.
But yeah, exactly, and like you say, like with that one city, New Freeburg is the name of the city, by the way.
New Freeburg,
nice.
That's on the plateau. I wanted it to be like sort of a cultural center, just because that kind of it would have fit the region. But when I screwed myself so badly with money to begin with, I got up and I kind of checked, and I have a gigantic coal deposit in that mountain, so now it's a mining town. But that's where I'm getting my money. So no, but I really like a lot of the stuff they've changed. I like that you're just sort of painting the regions along the sides of the road now.
Yeah. It's really smart, the interface. It's really fast. And I mean, it feels, for all the world, like it would work really well with a controller, which means that
it does.
Maybe we'll see it on the consoles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It seems like it would work just fine.
I also really like the way, and maybe this is, I haven't played a SimCity in a long time, but being able to upgrade your roads really simply, just by basically highlighting them and say, okay, now I can upgrade to the next level for this many simoleons.
Yep, and the fact that you don't have to fuss with separate power and water, they're all kind of built into the roads, I think that is a really smart, elegant solution that works really well.
And like the interface is gorgeous. I mean, especially when you get into all the water table maps and stuff like that. And the whole thing. It's a very pretty game. It's too bad that the server issues are overshadowing what I think is actually a pretty nice little game.
Yeah, it's very good. My city, by the way, is called Kolob, which in Mormon theology is the name of the planet that God is from. So enjoy that.
Wait, really?
Excellent.
God's an alien?
Well, sure. I don't know. I mean, where do you... Never mind. We should probably not go there.
Let's not get into that discussion.
But let's get into this discussion. How about Polygon revising their review score from a 9.5 to an 8 at first, and then from an 8 to a 4?
How do they quantify that? I want to know how you quantify that 4. What made it a 4? The server problems?
Yes, is the server problems.
So the reasoning behind that being that you can't play the game?
Yes.
So
and
would that make it a 0?
It was the removal of the cheetah speed, and what else was it? They removed something else, didn't they?
Leaderboards. Achievements. Yeah. Although achievements were working yesterday when I was playing.
So if you buy it, if you create a video game that is unable to be played, it will still
still scores a 4.
4. Okay.
As long as it looks pretty.
But if you add cheetah speed, then maybe it's worth like a 7.
Okay.
And then if you put in achievements and leaderboards, it's worth even more.
Yeah, that's a slippery slope there.
It's a very slippery slope. My thing is all right. So let's say Xbox Live goes down for a month, like that one time it did, or PSN goes down for a month, like that one time it did, or cloud saves on XBL aren't working. Is that then going to affect your score on a game if you're using those services, or if you need those services for it to
because it depends on if the game requires it.
Yeah, I mean, I know there are like some of the Capcom games, require it. Yeah, there's some a Final Fight game
PSN
and
games,
stuff like that. But
but is that the overall product? At that point, you're reviewing Xbox Live, or you're reviewing EA's shitty server structure.
Yeah,
than the product.
I understand the idea behind the whole fluctuating review scores and that they are fluid because gaming is kind of fluid at this point.
I think it's bullshit personally.
Well, no, I get what they were trying to do, but I think it's a terrible idea because.
I think it's especially a terrible idea in the first week of a game's release to revise the score twice.
Yeah,
that's the real problem with it. That is the only place that it will ever work and will ever be utilized. Because the problem that I have with this is the only interest that this concept serves is polygons, because it keeps bringing people to their review the first week over and over and over again. They're not going to go back and retroactively change the score of a game 2 years from now when EA shuts down the servers. That's never going to happen. It's only going to happen when people are going to post on the forums about it over and over again and get people going back to their review.
Exactly it. It's pandering to a readership, and it's pandering to the vocal, I don't want to say minority, but just the vocal complainers on the internet as well. Like, the thing is it's such a slippery slope to go down, and it's something that I think that the game industry, or the game press in general, has had to worry about for a long time now, especially ever since World of Warcraft came out and took over everything. But, you have to set all these arbitrary rules suddenly for how long you're going to keep fluctuating your review score. Like, and what's the reasoning behind that rule? Like, is it only in the first week, or is it for as long as the game is viable? And then how do you determine that? Like, if SimCity's a flash in the pan and it's only really viable for like 6 months, do you worry about the review score after that if the servers go off? Or if you look at something like World of Warcraft, which was a huge seller for years, like, do you constantly change your score every time they put out a patch.
Right.
Every time there's a server, like it's a ridiculous. There's no way to do it fairly and properly.
I want to read you something adorable.
What's that?
From their Diablo 3 review, which received a 10 and was never adjusted despite being completely fucked for a good long time, and the PvP still not working today as it was originally intended. So here's a little excerpt from their 10 out of 10 review of Diablo 3. Ordinarily, my position as reviews editor at Polygon is that we review a game as it exists on release day because our responsibility is to our audience. While we do all we can to maintain due diligence with regards to giving a game every opportunity to deliver, we choose your wallet and your time before the benefit of the doubt. But Diablo is different. It's different because Blizzard has a track record spanning almost 2 decades of games that have become institutions, blah, blah, blah. So the point is, ordinarily, our responsibility is to you, the reader, except Diablo is different because it's Blizzard, so fuck you.
Blizzard is better than you.
See, and the thing that kills me about this as well is that Polygon is one of the sites that, and I think Penny Arcade Report is another one, that actually got out in front of the whole problem.
Yeah.
And posted like a companion article with the SimCity review, or at the same time as the SimCity review, basically saying this, explaining the situation. Like, this was based on a perfect situation. And most likely it's not going to be the case in the first week. Now, they probably could never have guessed that it would have been as broken as it was.
Right.
But they did get out in front of it and say, which sort of begged the question, well, why are you even running the review? And I know practically why they're running the review, because they need the clicks.
That's not what begs the question means.
That's correct.
It raises the question.
Raises the question, thank you.
It doesn't beg the question.
Thanks, Phil.
You're
the
welcome.
point being is that, either way, they got out in front of it, and so I think they already kind of did their job as far as that goes. But then to go back and change the review score a couple times too,
Twice.
Just
Yeah.
doesn't make any
The
sense.
thing about it is, all right, so the game's not functioning for a lot of players. Why don't you just then remove the score entirely?
Right.
You know, and just say, all right, this is now dormant until such time that EA fixes everything, or fixes most of the problems. Which, of course, the first week is going to be when most of the traffic is coming in, so it's not like this is going to be a long-term thing, or you would hope that it's not going to be a long-term thing.
The other advantage, sorry, just one more thing here. The other advantage that fluctuating the review score like that does, and gives Polygon, I should say, is that when the time comes that everything's working properly and they decide to readjust the score, they can come up with some bullshit reason to lower it if they decide that their reviewer liked the game more than the general public likes the game.
So we originally gave it a 9.5, but now that everything's back and we've sort of, cooled on the game, it's an 8.5.
Exactly.
The other thing that it really highlights and puts into very clear focus that everybody needs to understand is reviews for games that come out on the day of the game that include a big multiplayer focus are absolutely worthless, and you should not pay attention to them whatsoever, because
this
anytime...
has been the case for years.
Absolutely, When I reviewed multiplayer games, it's always you have a specific date and time that you can do the multiplayer thing. It's an event where they bring in all of the press and you meet together online, and there's someone there that's acting as the master of ceremonies and making sure everybody has a grand old time and is giving you tips and tricks, and they really suck, but they also show the game in its most perfect light. So and as soon as the game releases, that's just
I remember the review of Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow, which was like heavily weighted to the multiplayer experience, and when it was just editors, it was great. But then when it got released to the general public and there was all this jackassery happening in games, like, the game was terrible. It just was not any fun.
Yeah, it's just an extension of things that we've been seeing forever. I think back to reviews like even Gran Turismo 4, I think it was, or 3, where those of us who reviewed it actually went out and reviewed it at Sony. We were left alone in the room, but it wasn't the same thing. It's not, It's not the games press. Yeah, the games press is disconnected enough from the people that are actually reading those reviews. Yeah, they don't have the same experience.
No.
But now this is just on a whole other level because of it.
Wasn't one of the Gears of War games, didn't that have server problems in like the first month it was out too?
Yes.
Yeah, they all.
Sometimes. They pretty much all do.
Yeah, reviewing the multiplayer
Oh my gosh, I am never going to get this point in!
Player aspect of a game.
Phil's gonna have a tantrum, Mike.
Yeah.
Let him talk.
This
Yeah.
better be a great
If this is some
point. That's
stupid
all I
joke,
can
you're kicked off the
go.
show.
So, when I was working on SpongeBob Dilly Dabbler... No, I was going to say, did you guys see that Notch, the Minecraft guy,
Yes.
he called out Polygon about how the Xbox Live version of Minecraft
Right.
has been updated multiple
Right.
times, like with pretty major improvements that improved the game, added new features and stuff, and at no point did they go back and
No, of course
alter their
not.
score or
Of course
revisit
not.
because NeoGAF didn't start yelling at them about it. I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Right.
because no one will ever click on that review if they update it anyway. It's already
exactly. I
They're
mean,
not going to get anything out of that.
people are
Exactly.
thinking about SimCity this week because it's release
Right.
week. They're not going to
Yeah.
be thinking about SimCity in the same way a month and a half from now.
And well, what was it? I think Jeff Gersman mentioned it at somewhere. I don't know if it was on his Twitter or on Giant Bomb or something about how the shelf life of reviews is like maybe 3 weeks or so.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I mean, even that seems kind of generous
I
to
mean,
me. But
yeah,
but-
it's the same reason why companies announce DLC a week or
Yeah.
the same week the game comes out. Is because that's when you're thinking about the game.
Yeah,
That's when
you-
people are going to click on a story about
eight
DLC
months
for this
later,
game.
8 months later, no one's going to care about the DLC for your game.
Right.
Yeah. So
So it's
Good times.
bullshit.
yes,
I think
Indeed.
they were right to get out in front of it. The sites that did to say like and I think they actually would have looked like heroes because they're not heroes, but they would have looked really brilliant to point and say, look, we said this was going to happen, right? But then to start fiddling with the review score just to make sure that you're jiving with popular opinion is so ridiculous.
yeah.
Yeah. And I'm kind of glad that Metacritic isn't adjusting the score
Oh, definitely.
along with what they're doing.
They're dead right
Keep-
on that.
Keep their original score. That's,
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So shall we talk about Tomb Raider?
Hey, before we do that, one more thing though. Did you see that EA has come out and said that they're going to give a free game to everybody
I did
Yes.
see that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's played SimCity so far?
They-
I
It's in
hope
part-
you enjoy The Sims 3.
I was going to say, I can't wait to see what the game is.
SimCity 2000.
It's,
Hey, that's not bad.
that would be pretty funny, actually.
It's because Origin doesn't do refunds, right? In part.
Ugh, yeah.
No, actually, that was debunked as well. That because there was a chat log that was going around from someone who tried
Oh,
to
yeah.
do chat to customer service, and they were told, well, even though we said you could have a refund, you really can't. Apparently, if you called EA, they would give you a
They would
refund.
do it.
Oh, really? You just have to actually call the number.
Yeah.
Okay. There's there.
That's goofiness.
I mean, you have to be the kind of
drones
person
on
you're
the
the kind of
drones on the
person then
chat
you're like,
can't.
I wanted this game on release day, but now that it's 7 days later, I don't want it anymore. I mean, it is going to start working at some point, right?
Well, one would hope.
One would hope. All right. Tomb Raider?
Hey, I finished that game.
Tom Brader.
Yeah.
Wait,
Tom
seriously?
Raider is done. Yeah, I'm done.
How
How many
long
hours?
was it?
A dozen, maybe 12 to 15,
okay,
something like
How
that.
the hell do you find time to play these video games?
Yeah.
Late at night when everyone's in bed.
With no pants on.
Me
Greg,
and
I'm
Lara.
surprised your name is not next to this as something you've been playing.
I actually got it. I have promised myself to finish Forza Horizon before I start playing any of these other games.
Why
That's
are you
not gonna
torturing
work.
Yourself? Good
That's
Lord.
not going to work. I mean, Bioshock
It
comes
is
out
going to
later
work.
this month.
I'm
It's
always,
not gonna work.
shut up! I know, God of War is this week.
Yeah, God of War. Not going to work.
You can't play God of War, though, because it's misogynist, so you've been forbidden.
Are you talking about you again? Or
No, I'm talking about you.
oh, okay, just because you're married and have 2 daughters, so I assumed.
I know. I'm very sensitive to those issues.
Yeah, you seem like somebody who would be.
I am. I always have the concern of broads in mind when I'm playing video games. Which brings us to Tomb Raider.
Yes.
I'm always worried about how they treat those chicks.
Yeah. I'm going to be very interested to see what you think of it, Greg,
Okay.
because you're kind of a big Tomb Raider fan, right?
I am, both physically
And-
and otherwise, yes.
This game is not very much like Tomb Raider at all. In fact, I think there's probably less classic Tomb Raider in this game than there is in Uncharted. I think there's a stronger tie to the old Tomb Raider games in Uncharted than there is in this game. It is surprisingly kind of dark and gritty and oppressive and nasty throughout the whole game, which makes it a little bit difficult to play at times. Like, you've seen lots of videos of her getting the snot beat out of her, and that does not end. That basically continues the entire game, and there are some parts that are a little bit tough to watch. Which makes it tonally a lot different than the Tomb Raider games, because they're always like, you enter the big cavern with the grand machine, and it's, kind of interesting and epic and a little more upbeat than this is. But it's really good. Like, there is no question that this is a really incredibly well-made game. Everything about it is really tight. The control and the graphics and everything
on level
like
3
that are all really good. The graphics on level 3 are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And there are no
puzzles. Have you been playing with the Tress FX?
Yeah, I turned that on, and it makes the frame rate dip a good 15 or 20 frames per second. It was still playable, but it also just looked ridiculous. Like, it did not look right at all. I think they've adjusted it since they first released it, but when I had it going, she looked like she had her hands on one of those plasma spheres at all times, because it's just like flying all over like electrified angel hair pasta in the breeze. It was a little bit distracting. So I turned it off. It actually looked better without it. But, it's a good effort. And it's kind of interesting. It has, so you upgrade weapons along the way and find new weapons and abilities, and then you can backtrack Metroid style to other areas where you couldn't access them before. So like later in the game, your bow and arrow, you get the ability to tie a rope to an arrow and like pull certain areas down. So there are doors that will have rope on them, and you can shoot an arrow at them and pull the door open.
What's the reasoning for suddenly getting the ability to tie a rope to an arrow? Is that
That's
something
an excellent question. There's also
video game logic.
Getting the ability to set an arrow on fire, getting the ability to add, padding and tape to the end of your shotgun, and things like that.
So these are just things she figures out along the way.
It is. That part of it is really kind of weird too, because the entire game, the HUD is not visible unless it needs to be. So there's no HUD on the screen except, when you reload, it'll pop up and show you how many bullets you have left and that kind of thing. But when you reach a campsite, which is the area that you can use to upgrade abilities and upgrade weapons and whatnot, all of these menus and interfaces come flying in, and it's a little bit weird and jarring. But a lot of the abilities that you upgrade are similarly strange. Like you have to have skill points to upgrade to the ability to stab someone with an arrow, or to be able to dodge and counter them, and that kind of thing. There are a lot of like melee upgrades. But they all kind of come together to make you feel pretty powerful by the end when you have all of the upgrades to the weapons and all of the upgrades to your combat. And there are tons of dudes flooding at you. You feel really competent and prepared to take them on. I don't know. The game. I played it on normal, and it is pretty easy, which is kind of interesting because it's supposed to be Lara, going from innocent, helpless fawn to fierce lioness, basically. And that transformation happens really quickly. She goes from not very strong to absolute predator on the island really quickly, which is a little bit strange in terms of the story as well, but it works for a video game. All of the backtracking in that is cool. It's not, a lot of people are saying that it's like open world. It is not at all open world. It's basically like there's the campsite, and there are little kind of tendrils that go off from that. So they're all linear paths linked to the campsite, and then different areas, of that. But it's good. I have to say though that as much as everybody loves the combat in this game, and they're right, I still like the combat in Uncharted better. It's weird to compare them though. They're totally different kinds of games, I think, ultimately, even though that's the easy comparison that people are making. And in terms of story and characters and that, there's really no comparison either. Like Lara, you will love in this game. You will completely adore her as a character. She is the best version of Lara Croft that there's ever been, and she's completely likable. And
strong words.
Some of the weird hyperbolic chatter about how you'll want to protect her and all of that kind of nonsense that the developer was putting out there is kind of true. The problem is that the rest of the cast is utterly forgettable and disposable, and you won't remember a single one of them in 24 hours. Unlike...
Not even John Voight?
Nice. Unlike Uncharted, where the supporting cast is probably even better than Drake. So in that way, it's a little bit different too. But it's pretty cool. And I tried to play the multiplayer, but the servers are down, so I'm going to go back and revise my score on this.
Boy, we're gonna get some mileage out of that.
Yes,
They literally were down. Both times that I tried to play the multiplayer, it said that the servers were unavailable. So I don't know how the multiplayer plays.
All right then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on my ever-growing backlog for this year, but I know if I don't finish Horizon now, I just won't.
I think you'll enjoy it.
There's just so much to play right now.
The thing about it is the combat, even though it's really good and responsive and tight, it's also incredibly straightforward. Like the thing that I like about Uncharted is it all feels like all of the scenarios feel like little playgrounds for you to improvise in, and I can, like that ship graveyard in Uncharted 3, I can go underwater and come up and pull a guy down into the water, and then I'll do some long range sniping from on top of this thing, and then go down this zip line and do some medium range combat and use my grenades and melee, and it's stealth? A little less of that. There's a little bit of stealth in this. You can sneak up behind people and stealth kill them for sure, but it's mostly arenas with dudes pouring in a lot of times. So and the latter half of the game is incredibly combat heavy. Like incredibly combat heavy.
Okay.
But it's still fun. It stays fun throughout. Fun being kind of a relative term. The gameplay is fun, the tone of the game is not at all fun. And I think that's kind of what it needs. It could use like one moment of levity, but it does not really have that at all. When you're playing Uncharted and Nathan's doing everything with a little bit of a smile and a wink and making smart-ass comments as he's blowing people up, it sort of keeps the tone light. This game keeps the tone very dark, which is interesting.
Yeah, I've stopped reading the thread on our boards about the game because I just feel like now everyone's really starting to play it, and I don't want to run across too many spoilers or anything. But I saw that Famous Mortimer was actually saying he was having trouble continuing to play based solely on sort of the atmosphere and the...
I've talked to a few people like that, and I'm slightly in that camp. It's a little unnerving at times, the whole thing. It just feels a little strange. Especially, and I'm not sure what purpose they serve, but the death sequences when you get killed are incredibly graphic and nasty. And, some people have pointed out, well, it's the same way in Dead Space, it's the same way in Resident Evil. But Dead Space is a weird science fiction thing with, necromorphs, and Resident Evil is a zombie game with guys with, monsters growing out of their heads and stuff. And this is just Lara being impaled on a spike.
And honestly, in Dead Space, it's just some puppet in a suit, really. You don't really relate to Isaac in any way.
And the question on these is, what purpose do they actually serve? Like, seeing her get rammed through a spike over and over and over again when you die, I don't exactly understand in...
So that we'll talk about it on the podcast.
The story-based game, So she dies and you start over, and she dies and you start over, but every time you see her die, it's like incredibly graphic and painful looking. I don't know. They're strange.
It helps with the whole protection thing.
That's right.
Protect her from that.
You don't want to
see those scenes. That it adds or detracts to the ludonarrative dissonance of this game? You'll hear people use that term a lot when they're talking about this game, and the appropriate response to that is, fuck you, you are mental.
I don't know what you just said, but I'm pretty sure I'm offended.
Cool. That's what I was going for.
All right, let's talk about something that where we don't have to worry about narrative dissonance. Star Wars Pinball.
I felt a little narrative dissonance with this game, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
Man, the voices on that Clone Wars table are real bad.
Yeah,
I've only played the Empire table.
They keep repeating themselves, don't they? Yoda will not shut up in that.
No, Yoda is a chatterbox.
Yeah. Yeah, with his sage advice about shooting the ball up the ramp, you must.
You have played the best of the three tables, CJ, so you're okay.
That's what I heard.
That is true.
I suck at this game, but I suck at all pinball. So.
Yeah. No, I'm digging it. The Empire table is fantastic.
Yeah, it really is. So they didn't. Did they have sound-alikes doing all of the voices, or did they get any of the actual cast?
For what?
The Empire one just sounds like samples to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Han Solo sounds different, right?
Does he?
Does he? I
think so.
It sounded like a sample of the movie to me, but I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
That's what I was getting.
Anyway, they're good. The sound samples are good if they are direct from the movie, or if
They're good. And the Boba Fett one sounds very much like Tamura Morrison. I have to think that that's probably either him or I don't know.
Yeah.
If it's not him, it's probably the guy they got who voices the clones on the Clone Wars cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is crap, I forget his name now. I should know this because I'm a nerd and I know voice actors and crap like that. Yeah. But
Zen Studios does a great job with these
yes, they do.
pinball tables.
Which platform are you playing these on?
I'm on 360.
I am on the D. Bradley Baker is the voice actor. But yeah, I'm playing them on the PS3 and Vita because I get a two for
them on. Yeah. Do you go vertical or horizontal when you play Vita?
You know what? I try vertical every now and again, but I miss the sort of physical sensation of actually tapping the triggers.
It's a weird trade-off. You go horizontal, you get the tactile response that you want, but you go vertical, you can see the whole table a lot better. So
no, I love
and you could use that description in a lot of things. I'm just saying.
Such as?
Yeah, I can't think of one.
Just let your imagination run wild, Phil.
Is that a wiener joke? Is that where you're going with
that? Not at
all. Yeah, I dig the vertical view. It looks fantastic, but yeah.
We still talking about your penis, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, here again, we're on the camera now, so we can.
Hey, nice Astro Boy shirt.
You like that?
Yeah.
I wore that just for you.
Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah. But no, as Star Wars Pinball, I'm digging it. Empire table is the best. The Clone Wars table is actually a pretty good table.
It's good. I would just like to mute some of the voices.
Yeah. Hearing Yoda recite a bunch of fortune cookies every 30 seconds is not... Because that's really the caliber that he's giving you. But
and the Boba Fett one is cool, but it feels really basic compared to the others. Not as much going on, which is okay, but it's not. It doesn't keep my attention as long.
It's kind of a smaller, more confined board. It seems like just everything's really kind of jam packed together, and there's not a whole lot of ramps and things like that you can go on to. So yeah, it's probably the least enjoyable of the three in terms of long term play, But yeah, it's great. I'm looking forward to more.
Have they announced any more? Like, are they?
As far as I know,
works for them.
As far as I know, they haven't. But given that there have been so many Marvel tables and just a continuous stream of them, I can't imagine them just doing these 3 Star Wars tables and then leaving it at that. I'm sure we'll get a New Hope table and a Jedi table, and
you would think so. A New Hope one seems like the slam dunk to me. Out of all of them. Yeah, big old floating Death Star.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be great.
Yep, shoot the ball into the little exhaust port there.
Yeah, perfect.
Yes, indeed.
Hell, we used to bullseye Womp Rats in my T16 back home.
They couldn't have been much more than 2 meters.
No, good old Beggar's Canyon.
That's right.
TurboGrafx 16.
Yes.
Should we take a quick break? Come back, talk a few more games, and do tweets?
Show enough.
Dokie.
Oh, let's do it.
Oakley dokley.
Okay.
And we're back. In case you forgot, you're listening to the Player One podcast. Now a 4.0.
I get it.
The 4.0th most popular podcast on NeoGAF.
There you go.
We were never the 9.5th, however.
No.
No. Hey, let's read a iTunes review. What do you think about that?
Okay.
You can leave us a review on iTunes, and maybe we'll read it. Like I'm going to read this one from Hackerius Locke from NeoGAF. And he says...
This guy from NeoGAF?
Yes.
All right.
Locke from NeoGAF. This
Like-
is
like-
Hackerius.
Like the fellow on the Lost?
No, there's no E.
No,
Oh.
the guy from Final Fantasy VI.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He says, unique in that it has women opinions about games, compared to the sausage fest of other podcasts. Garnett is awkwardly funny, and Jeff is lovable since he loves loving things. 5 stars. A great
Thank
podcast.
you for the 5-star review.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
indeed.
We do look at things from a woman's perspective, though. I think we already
Amen.
established that as we were talking
Clearly.
about Tomb Raider.
Yes. All right, so
Heck,
let's...
I'm
I'm more
recording my
confused than anything.
I'm
We say
recording my
hose before
show.
bros.
I'm recording
Hose
my
before
show
bros.
in my kitchen. So
Wow. Are
You
you
mean your
barefoot?
wife's kitchen?
traditionally a woman's place.
exactly. that kind of was the joke.
See, this is
Yes.
this is what we get from CJ when he's in a room where Adrian's not wandering around behind him.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I used to podcast from my kitchen as well.
See?
Now I don't.
And then I grew a pair.
Now I got some man cave. Uh-huh. Alright, let's talk about Sonic Dash from friend of the show, Ethan Einhorn's Sega of America.
It's not really his Sega. of
Yeah,
America.
for the purposes of our show,
Sure.
it can be.
Yeah, why not?
This is iOS, right? Is it out?
This is iOS.
I
It is
saw
out
you
now.
tweet about it, and I went and looked for it, and it wasn't out. So I assume that you got
Really?
some sort of special hookup.
No, it's out.
it is out. It came out
Okay.
on Thursday. It's $1.99, I think.
Yes.
Too much.
$2.
$2.
Oh no! What the crap is this crap?
Bush League.
Hold on, I'll be back.
Bush League stuff.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Leave me answer it.
Jesus.
This better be a medical emergency. And now, if it is, I'm going to feel terrible.
It's a Temple Run style endless runner.
That
which
makes good
actually
sense.
works really well
Yeah,
with
makes
the
sense
Sonic
for Sonic.
series.
There we go. That was my mom.
Oh,
Mom called.
talking
brought her
about
on the show.
Blaster Master?
Yes. I
Okay.
told her I would call her back.
Anticipation.
What are we talking about now? We still on Sonic Dash?
Sonic
She found you
Dash.
a copy of Anticipation at Lionel Play World.
I have no idea what that is.
You didn't have a Lionel Play World where you
No.
live?
No.
No, they didn't have those in the Midwest.
It was a
Must be
toy
more
store, and
big.
here was the best thing about Lionel Play World. They didn't
What's
care if I took my Genesis games, re-shrink wrapped them, and brought them back.
I knew so
That's
many
why
people
that-
that did that.
That's why that store is no longer.
Possibly.
Where did you have access to a shrink wrap machine?
My brother owned a computer store for a really long
okay.
time, and so he
There
had
you
a
go.
shrink wrap machine. And
Nice.
yeah. You could do it easily with Genesis games. You could not do it with Super Nintendo games because they had a different method of shrink wrapping
Yes,
that had
that's
like
true.
folded corners or something like that. So
Yeah.
they were a real pain in the ass. But Genesis games, no problem.
Nice.
Yep.
I just remember at one point at Babbage's we had to open the games even if they were shrink wrapped.
Because someone
Anytime
put a
someone was
speed
returning
stick
something.
in there. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Oh, yeah.
actually was at the store and the manager was opening. 2 guys came in returning like Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and he was opening them up, and the 2 guys ran out of the store as soon as
Oh god.
they had something else, like some shitty Super Nintendo game in there instead.
Nice.
Yeah.
But, so
At
hey, free game.
The store
Free
where I
game.
worked, the game store where I worked, there was a guy who notoriously stole games from other places and then traded them in with us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And at one point we had to take him aside and say, you should really remove the little security tag thing before you give these to us because that is a dead giveaway.
Nice.
Yes.
But was still buying from you.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
All right, so back to Sonic Dash.
Yes.
Endless runner, kind of temple run,
Right.
Agent Dash style game behind the character, third person. And yeah, it works really well with Sonic.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Speaking
Yes,
of,
it does.
I have not played it yet, but I have to think that this model actually works better than the traditional Sonic platformer model, which
Yeah. It actually
doesn't work
kind of
that
does.
well anymore.
yeah.
We should have had Ethan on the show to talk about how good this game is, as opposed to the last game he was plugging.
I wonder
But,
if they could do an Alien Colonial Marines free runner
Dash.
Where you're running from aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, that sounds pretty good.
That would make sense.
Well,
But,
you could always do an Alien stage for this and have it be DLC or something. That'd make perfect sense. Sonic
You know
in
what?
Aliens world.
I'm disappointed. It's one of those games where you obviously you're collecting rings,
Yes.
which you then use to purchase power-ups and things like that. And like a lot of these type of games, they have the coin doubler or ring doubler
Right.
DLC that you can purchase. And
Which is always the most popular DLC
yeah,
purchase.
well, I tend to not purchase DLC on iOS games, but if I like the game, I will usually buy a
the doubler.
currency doubler just because it's a good way to support the game, and it has it's a good benefit.
Does that last forever? Like if you get that for Jetpack Joyride or whatever, do those
Oh, yeah.
usually?
Yeah.
Those are.
Yeah.
They're unlocked
Yeah,
forever. They
it's
just
a
doubles
permanent
everything.
thing. Yeah.
That's cool.
Which is one of the reasons I like them. So yes, I bought the Jetpack Joyride one. Whenever there's been one for an Adult Swim game, I purchased.
Thank
that
you. Thank
as
you,
well.
Phil. Thank you very much.
I got it for Hacky Cat.
Hacky
Have you
Cat.
played?
All right.
Have
yeah.
you played Hacky Cat?
That's a fun little game. Yeah.
Hacky Cat is really great, but yeah, I was gonna buy it for Sonic, but they're charging like $4 for it,
Lame.
Yeah.
and that's like $2 for a coin doubler is what I will pay.
Feels like that's some
Okay.
bullshit right there.
Yeah,
I'm sure at some point it'll be $2.
Yeah, I'm disappointed by the $4 ring doubler, but
Yeah.
but it's a really fun little game.
So does it use like traditional Sonic stages? Is there an underwater level, or is there a like a pinball looking level, or is
It's
it all
like-
kind of Green Hill Zone stuff?
So far, it's because you're on you're on just a narrow path over
Right.
water. So the levels I've seen so far, it's that there's the Green Hill inspired, and then there's also the kind of like what was it? Was it the Labyrinth Zone? Maybe.
Kind of mechanical looking zone.
What was the one with like kind of the Greek architecture?
Labyrinth Zone.
Okay, thank you, Greg. But yeah, so there's that sort of thing as well. That's all I've seen so far in terms of the environment. So, is there a Casino Night Zone or any of the others? Maybe, I don't know.
That would be neat.
That would
I am
be
not.
neat.
I'm not good enough at it yet to find out.
Cool. So I assume that you're just hauling ass the whole time, the way a Sonic game should actually be.
Yeah, auto run.
Yeah, you swipe left and right to dodge obstacles. You swipe down to roll under.
Yeah, spin.
Yeah, you do your little spin dash under obstacles, and then.
So is it
you
3D then?
Swipe up to jump. Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
you're
It's like a temple run.
like Temple Run. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, and then you swipe up. To
For
jump.
some reason, I was thinking it would be like a side view traditional Genesis.
Oh,
looking
no.
thing.
No.
No.
Although that would be awesome.
Yeah,
It
they
would
should do
be,
a
actually.
stage like that.
Yeah, like a Cannibalt style.
Right.
Or they could do something like, Activision released that Pitfall one that was a combination of both, where they had occasional temple run,
Oh, yeah.
3D behind
Sure.
the back,
That's right.
and then side-scrolling areas.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So.
It's a fun little game.
Yeah.
I have not played as much as you have, obviously, but I enjoyed.
Doesn't
what
that
I
go without
played.
saying in most of our conversations?
Yeah,
That's
true.
Yeah. Surprisingly, one of the best 3D uses of Sonic.
God.
Since the last one,
That was
which was
sad.
also a good use.
Yeah, that's true.
Generations was good.
Yeah, Generations was really good.
All right, let's talk about Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Gates of Infinity.
Yes.
So I can
Yes.
keep playing Real Racing 3 is what you're telling me.
Oh, jeez. Look at this
Oh, so
guy.
you're still playing Real Racing 3?
I am.
I
You've
am
not
too.
been turned off by the in-app purchase model.
Not at all.
Let me ask you something, though, Greg.
Draconian policies of Electronic Arts have not turned you off.
Have you turned off assists on that game, and which ones?
I've turned off steering.
Okay.
I've left everything else on.
My only real problem with that game is if you leave the assists on, it's sort of driving itself, which is not very fun. And if you take the assists off, it reveals how difficult it is to do a driving game with tilt controls.
Yep, absolutely.
Which is
Don't you have different
off, and I just play it like that.
Don't you have different levels of assist though?
Yeah, you can customize.
You
can turn off the brake assist or there are steering assists. There's all sorts of assists on it, and there are different control modes. The on-screen wheel does not work for me at all. It has to be tilt or nothing, and tilt is not perfect. No, one thing I wish that game had was before the race starts, I wish there was like a little bubble level or something that showed you if you have your fucking iPad straight, like parallel to the floor, because invariably I think I'm holding it straight, and as soon as the race starts, I'm pulling to the left like an asshole.
Like an old man.
Nice.
Yep.
Very nice.
Nice.
Hey, you know what else came out on iOS this week? Super Mole Escape content update. Whoa, from Adult Swim Games.
Time to go adjust my score.
Yeah, the game's now free. Has a bunch of new content, levels, new character, new power-ups, new level layouts. It's pretty awesome. It's a great little update to that game, and it is now free. So go download that.
Can't be free.
Can't be free.
No.
Yeah, but let's talk about Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, since I and then we didn't.
I'm the only one who actually played this, right?
Yeah, I'm interested in it though because I've enjoyed the Pokemon,
of course.
The Pokemon games, Mystery Dungeon games.
You like the Mystery Dungeon games?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, this is I'm just playing the demo right now. The game does not come out until I think the 24th, so later this month.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'll be buying Luigi's Mansion instead.
Is it the same day?
I don't know. I don't know if it is.
Okay, but no, it's Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. They went 3D, like polygons this time, as opposed to the sprite based games before, which I'm a little bummed out about because I really like the sort of charming sprite work that they did in those games.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of bummed to see it go polygon, but it's a cool game. It's a roguelike dungeon crawler. Where you go through randomly generated dungeons, gathering loot, fighting enemies. If you die, you get kicked out. You lose all your loot. So there's a little strategy involved.
Sounds pretty standard.
Yeah, it's a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon game. So, but I'm liking it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to pick it up. One of the nice things is the demo is just the start of the game. And any progress you make in the demo will get carried over to the retail release. I
like that a lot.
I
wish more games would do that.
I know, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
And I'm considering getting this one digital.
Ooh.
As opposed to buying the retail version.
Why?
And on one part because I just upgraded my 3DS SD card. I had a 4 gig, and I upgraded to a 32 gig.
Nice.
So I have ample room on there now. But the Mystery Dungeon, the style of gameplay, it's one of those games where it's fun to just sort of start it up, go through a dungeon real quick, and then boom, you're done with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not a game that I'm sure some people are of the sort that will sit there and play it for hours on end, but I'll play like a dungeon or two and then be like, okay, I'm done with this for now, and then put it down. So just having that on my system at all times seems like a good idea.
Pretty much how I've been playing Fire Emblem.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'll just fire up a chapter, and even if I don't finish it, then I'll get back to it pretty fast.
Yeah, I've actually kind of been wishing that I had the digital copy of Fire Emblem as well, just so I could do the same thing. But I guess I got into the wanting to get a physical copy of that just because it's so hard to find. But I given the the preference between the two. I would like to have had that digital as well.
That game is great, by the way. You should be playing it.
Yeah, it really is. I am playing.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not like playing it a ton. I haven't gotten that far into it, but
I'm up to like chapter 8.
Oh, okay. I'm on chapter 5 right now.
Okay.
Okay, so I played so I could get the free download map.
Right.
And then I actually played the little mission from the DLC, the free DLC, where you end up unlocking Marth. As well.
Oh, really?
Did you not play that?
I have not. I've been playing they have like these side missions that keep popping up, the paralogs.
Oh, yeah.
I just unlocked the 3rd one of those.
Okay.
So I've been playing those as they pop up, but I haven't, like, the thing is, we go back and check all the time, and you're constantly getting new armies popping up all over the map, and you can go and you can recruit them for a certain amount of silver, I think it is, or you can fight them, or you can shop from them, and most of them are only on your map very briefly, but I really don't understand the mechanics behind it yet. Like, I don't get if I want to... I'm not sure I want to go fight these people or not, or, like, I just haven't decided what to do with those. I will say I'm glad I'm playing on casual mode, because, man, I'd be down to, like, one guy now.
Yeah.
If those deaths were permanent.
And, you know, who's the other Fire Emblem character in Smash Brothers? It's Marth, and who's the other one?
Marth is already a character in this game.
Okay, is it? It might be the other guy then.
Okay, that's why I was surprised, because that character that's in the mask...
With the mask,
right, that's Marth.
But he's like Marth's descendant or something, right?
I guess, yeah. I haven't really gotten to that point, but...
It might be the... and I'm totally blanking on his name, but it might be him.
Garth?
You know what?
Riveting radio here.
This is,
You're riveting radio, CJ.
Oh, thank you.
Faces. And you know what, Greg, going back to your whole casual thing, when I started playing the game, I don't know why I did, but I said, I think I'll play the classic way. I've never played Fire Emblem before. I think I'll try the classic way, where if they die, they're gone. Whoops!
Yeah.
Because,
I'm pretty careful. I shouldn't say that. I don't lose a lot of characters generally, but I find that this game, too, has a real tendency to throw a new character into the middle of a battle.
Right.
And they're generally in a very bad spot. So, there was one, the chapter I just played, I had to get through this pass, and I was, set upon from 3 sides. So I decided there's a really nice feature in there where if you click on any of the enemy characters, it'll actually show you their range.
Right.
So you can, on your map, you can get an idea of where the safe spots are as you move around. So I was thinking, well, you know what? I'm going to be smart because I didn't have a very big force. I'm going to let them come to me. So that's what I decided to do. And then about 2 turns into it, I barely moved, and a new character flew in, and she's like, oh, I don't want to give away the story, but the point was, it's like, they're coming, you better get moving. And then in the next turn, 3 new enemies popped up behind me. And then this one that had flown in, it was completely surrounded, and it's just like, oh no.
Man. Yep.
I thought I was being so smart, and I ended up having like 5 characters die.
Yeah. And you can't switch from classic to the casual
really?
or whatever. I don't think so. I couldn't find a way to do it. If there is a way to, someone let me know, because I would like to. Because you know what I've been doing? I've just been quitting out. I've just been stopping, resetting the game, because I'll end up losing a bunch of people, and it's like I don't want them to die.
Well, I've heard that. I've heard a few people say when they were playing on normal that Chapter 6 was what really got them, and having just played through Chapter 6, I could see why.
Really?
So you're fucked.
Like, it's to the point where I'm considering starting over and playing it on the casual, just because I don't want to have these permanent losses. Because, I mean, eventually, the way I play, I'm going to end up with, like, 1 guy left. And what happens at that point?
What I'm finding, sort of the flip side here, and it is sort of the way it was with Shining Force, is like I've got way more characters than I have space on the battlefield. So there are characters that I haven't even used yet.
Right.
Just because why would I? I've got like my main force that's getting really powerful.
Yeah.
But if I was playing normal, I'm sure that would be a lot different because I would be having people die once in a while.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Sorry to ruin your podcast with video game talk there, CJ. What do you want to talk about next?
Let's do some tweets. What do you think about that?
We're not going to talk about Castlevania?
All right, fine.
You're a
Talk
son of
about
a bitch.
Castlevania.
I do want to hear about Castlevania because I still have not picked it up, and I still want to. Do I? I want to.
You want to wait till it goes down in price.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Why do I?
Not
It's
good?
just not... It's not, like, really bad, but it's not... It doesn't get any better than that demo.
Huh.
It's just very, very plotting, generic. Yeah, it's not great.
Bummer.
Yeah. I'm
I thought
pretty
the
bummed
demo
about
was
it.
fun, but
Yeah, but are you ready for that over and over and over again?
I keep coming to this podcast.
Dun, dun, dun.
Good point.
I'm a glutton for punishment.
Yeah.
I would suggest waiting till it goes down in price.
All right.
That's all.
I will
That's too
take
bad.
your admonition
It's
to heart.
yeah. There's the main issue that I'm having outside of, I mean, the combat is okay, but it just never changes. There's no variety in the combat. There doesn't feel like there's any variety in the bosses. I've fought like 2 or 3 bosses now, and you fight every one of them in the exact same way. You get some distance, you whip them as much as you can, and then if you see a little flash, that means you have to roll away, right? Because that's how you fight the bosses. The other thing that I'm noticing too is that the jump distance is totally dictated by however they've designed the level. So like you'll see something that it just doesn't look like you can make that jump, but what you need to understand is that the designer meant for you to make that jump. So you're going to make that jump if you try it. And vice versa, like the fall distance seems to change based on nothing. Basically,
weird.
like it'll look like there'll be something that'll look like you can jump down and you'll die. And then you'll see something that seems like it's pretty much the same distance and you'll live when you jump down there. Like, yeah,
That's weird.
it's very
That's-
inconsistent design.
That's actually another thing that I forgot I was going to bring up during Tomb Raider. There is a bit of that in Tomb Raider. There are ledges you can fall off and ledges you can't fall off, which is very bizarre. Like there are certain parts where it clearly wants you to stick to a certain path and you can't fall off the ledge if you try. There are others where you can. It's very strange.
Right. There's some of that going on here too. Yeah, like there was one section where it looked like if you fell in like these pits, you'd die. And if you actually did fall in, actually you just landed in the water and you could swim around and there was some secret stuff down there. So that was kind of cool. It's kind of a, harkening back to Symphony of the Night and that kind of game. But then in other sections, you'll see ledges like that, and if you jump off, you'll die.
Weird.
So
There actually, okay, one more Tomb Raider thing. Sorry. I forgot this too.
CJ's frantically scribbling down the outline here.
There are
No.
parts in that game where you are not controlling Lara, but you think you are.
I read this.
It's very strange.
Oh, yeah.
Like they deceive you into thinking that, like, while you're climbing or shimmying on a wall, because you initiated the move, you keep doing it instinctively. But there are a couple times where I've let my hands off the joystick to scratch my face or something like that, and Lara keeps going. There's one area in particular where you have to climb this incredibly tall radio tower, and I was kind of getting fatigued holding the joystick up, so I let go and I was like, oh, she's still climbing, and she gets to the top and she pulls herself up over the ledge, and I didn't do any of that, but that's cool. So it's weird.
There was a little bit of that going on in the Uncharted games, wasn't there?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just hidden a little bit better.
Well, this is hidden pretty well until you let go of the joystick in certain instances. Like, I'm sure half the game it was deceiving me into thinking I was doing shit that I clearly was not.
Right.
Uh,
How about some tweets?
All right.
oh,
I love a
Let's
good
do
tweet.
some of those. All right, this one from hacker alias Donald Mick, who asks, which system everyone expects to come out this year is more likely to get delayed? PS4, Next Box, or both?
Ooh, yeah.
That's shipping to developers at the end of this month.
really?
I don't think that Xbox will come out next year. I think it will be this year, and because of that, I think the PlayStation will be out this year because they won't let them get another
Head Start.
Yeah.
So they'll both be out this year.
I think they'll both come out this year. I think we'll see a situation similar to when Nintendo released the Wii U and not everything was quite ready. I think we'll see
Definitely. That's definitely true,
happen.
especially on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
So much of that stuff was sort of pie in the sky that there's no way it's going to be done.
Right.
And they've already hedged their bets there anyway by saying this is going to come online gradually.
Yeah.
I'm hoping as those things come online that Polygon can go back and adjust their review score of the PlayStation current service levels.
That's right. All right. This one from Hacker Alias Oazifa. He says, all right. When was the last time any of you finished Bowser's Castle?
Huh?
What?
Huh?
I'm guessing that was when was the last time you finished Super Mario Brothers, the first one?
The first one?
Yeah.
Because, I went through Bowser's Castle in New
Super Mario Brothers.
U and New Mario 2.
Yeah,
so
me too.
Pretty recently, I'd say.
But
If
the
we're
first
talking
one.
about the first one?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's probably when that game came out on Wii U Virtual Console, or Wii Virtual Console.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably the last time I played it.
Yeah,
well, except for when I wanted to play Phil off. But I don't play through it when I do that.
Exactly. Let's play 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. There you go.
Is that it?
That was a great tweet, CJ. Keep it
That's
up.
a fantastic tweet.
My
Hacker
answer to
Alias-
that is sometime in the 80s. Would have been the last time I played the first Super Mario Brothers game.
Really?
Nice.
Okay. Hacker Alias Beard the Movie asks, which 80s show needs a revival, Out of This World or Small Wonder?
Man,
Ooh.
Small Wonder used to scare the shit out of me. Just watching the
What?
opening credits of that was terrifying.
Really?
Yeah, that little robot girl.
Yeah, Vicky.
That is
How
the
is that
stuff
scary?
of nightmares.
No.
It's just, yeah, it's just weird. She was creepy.
What the hell is Out of This World?
Out
I
of
don't
This
know what Out of This
World.
World is.
I
Out
never
of This-
watched Out of This World.
Out of This World was a show about and I'm right here with a description of what Out of This World
Yeah,
is.
this kills me.
Out of This World was a show about a girl whose father was an alien and her mother was a human. And her father
Sexy.
is out in outer space, so we don't really see him. But she has the power to stop time by, like, clapping her hands or touching her fingers or something like that. And that leads to all sort of wacky escapades, usually involving, camera pause tricks and, like a model of an egg being broken and half falling out of its shell. And then she, stops time and goes around robbing banks and things like that.
Looking at people
The
naked
Wonder
in
Years.
locker
Yes.
Out of This World, The Wonder Years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Taking
I'm waiting
clothes
for
off.
the gritty Christopher Nolan remake of Small Wonder, because
Wow.
that'd be fun.
I'm waiting for the gritty Christopher Nolan remake of The Littlest Hobo.
Really?
Our Canadian listeners.
Are you
will know
really?
Anyway.
Yeah.
Really waiting
Sure.
for that?
That's the show that needs a reboot.
Besides, the actual 80s show that needs a reboot is Misfits of Science.
Yes.
I've never seen that either.
That needs to just be released on DVD.
Yeah, it's not, is
I
it?
need to see the original ones. No, it's not.
So we can see it on CJ's shelf back there.
That's right.
Yeah.
It'd be perfect.
Unplayed.
Or perhaps Sledgehammer, which was another great show.
The Peter
You watched-
Gabriel video?
No.
I never watched Sledgehammer.
You never watched Sledgehammer?
No.
Sledgehammer was great. It's available on DVD. It's like
No, I won't.
it's like a Dirty Harry parody sort of thing.
Like McBain?
Well, McBain's more of a
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Playing Dirty Harry.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
I
now
know.
that I think about it, McBain's a terrible parody.
Yeah. That's the joke.
All right. Alias a Hind D.
Hind D.
What's a hind D doing here?
My wife just had a baby girl yesterday. Any
Is it
advice
his?
for a new dad?
Any advice for a new dad?
Advice for a
Adoption.
new dad.
Spoken from the most experienced of us.
Whatever you do, do not get if it's a boy, do not get him circumcised.
Yeah.
It's a baby girl.
And well, then
Don't get her circumcised.
Don't get her
either,
circumcised.
No, it's barbaric.
And if whatever the gender, get it fixed. If you have.
Yep.
I don't know what I was saying.
I think Norclant for a newborn is a great idea.
It's a girl, little baby girl.
Yeah.
Little baby girl. Advice. I hope you got enough sleep.
Boys.
Front to back, always the way to wipe. Front
to back.
Very
Yeah,
important.
yeah,
Very
especially
important.
with a girl. My goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wiping the butt. Wiping the butt.
Is that all the advice we have? Yeah.
What else could there be?
I think Phil had it right on there. Say goodbye to sleep for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
sex.
Yeah.
Or maybe that was just me. I don't know.
Hacker alias Stampfly asks, did any of you fine fellows see the Tropes versus Women in Video Games Part 1? What do you think about this web series?
No.
I haven't watched it.
I haven't watched it.
I saw everyone and their dog posting about it, which immediately made me not want to watch it. But I probably will at some point.
Yeah, I was kind of the same thing.
Same here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times. All right. So
Another good tweet there, CJ.
another great tweet. All right.
That's
Let's
more
do
about
this.
us just being
Actually,
assholes than
the tweet was fine. The
Right.
fault is more with CJ not maybe asking us beforehand, are we going to have an answer?
Are you
other
guys
than,
assholes?
No.
Answer yes.
All right. I'm not going to ask any of the. I'm not going to read any of those tweets where it's not clear if you guys care. So we're done with tweets.
Wait, well, that's it?
No.
That's how you
All
end
right.
it?
Now, hacker alias 2D Kicks says, has March become the new November? Discuss.
March is-
2013 has become the new November 2012.
March remains the third month of the year. November remains the 11th month. So, no.
This is true.
No
Although
amount
there's some
of
great
daylight
releases
savings
coming out.
time can mess up our calendar that bad.
True.
Smarch.
Yeah.
Very true.
Lousy smarch weather.
Now, this seems to be the time where all the games that were delayed from last year get released.
It's a good friggin' month already.
It is.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It's a good one. Though I hear
It
Edge
is.
gave Lego City Undercover a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, I told you
Which,
that game was
Servers will come up and it'll be a 7.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm
Boring.
stoked. I'm stoked about Lego City.
Yeah, I
I
really
can't
don't
wait to maybe rent
care
that
either.
one day.
I don't care. I am so excited.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah.
And Luigi's Mansion 2.
That's
Looks
exciting.
awesome. The multiplayer on that looks great.
Yeah?
Actually, I don't know if you guys saw the video that Nintendo released.
I'm really
the
interested
multiplayer. Looks good.
I'm really interested to see how that plays using a single analog stick.
Well, I guess
Yeah.
we'll find out.
You'll find out soon enough.
Yeah.
I know.
Should be good, though.
All right, let's do this one from Acrelius Napoleon 1797,
Je suis Napoleon.
who asks, "What are your favorite
chowder.
What are your favorite racing games of all time and your favorite cars?"
Oh man!
Oh,
You
boy.
can't answer
Directly
this one,
for
Greg.
Stewart.
Yeah.
Favorite racing games of all time? Pole position. All right, next tweet.
Prepare to qualify.
Yeah,
Favorite racing games of all time, man.
Hydro Thunder,
Hydro Thunder,
Outrun.
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 Yeah.
Yes,
Outrun was
I think three
fantastic.
different versions of Outrun: the arcade version, the
Yes.
XBLA version, and the
Yes.
friggin' PSP version, which was
Yeah,
incredible.
it was.
Yes,
It
yeah,
really was.
quite good. Yeah,
Yes.
about Rad Racer.
Rad Racer is
Racer.
okay.
Eh. First appearance of Sonic the Hedgehog, though.
No, it was Radmobile.
Oh, Radmobile,
Radmobile.
yeah.
Rad Racer.
Rad Racer was the 3D, the-
NES thing
by Square.
by Square. Yeah,
Yeah, that was a Square game.
Before they
Mhm.
made Final Fantasy. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. F1 Beyond the Limit for the Sega CD is actually terrible, but I really liked it back in the day.
If you just name Sega CD games, Jaguar XJ220, obviously.
Obviously, Split Second. Amazing game.
oh yes,
The Burnout.
Burnout
Speed
3.
Devils.
Two-
Burnout
two and
Speed
3.
Devils.
Speed Devils. Yeah, excellent.
Speed Devils.
Burnout 3, I'd say, is probably my favorite Burnout.
I'm
game.
definitely saying, Burnout 3 is my favorite,
Yeah.
too.
That's my favorite as well.
Any Gran Turismo, obviously.
Yeah.
The Forza games have all been good. Project Gotham Racing,
Yeah.
probably number 3 is the best one.
Hey, Greg.
Mhm.
Which
4.
Which Mario Kart's the best?
64.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Now, see, it seems like 64 gets a lot of hate these days.
It does now for some reason, but I still prefer it.
I still dig Mario Kart 64 as well, but
I love that one.
For some reason, the internet does not like it anymore.
F-Zero X. Speaking of Nintendo racing games, F-Zero X was incredible.
Did you hear about that F-Zero news this week?
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yes, the full arcade game is in
Yes.
FZX. Yeah.
Yes,
pretty
that
great.
is awesome, and like you can actually access it if you have a Game Shark or an
Action
action
replay.
replay.
Yeah.
So you can't access it, basically.
Yeah, but that
Gotta get one
is
of those.
outstanding that is a thing and that someone finally discovered it.
It's pretty wild
Yeah.
that they found
Yeah.
it now.
Yeah.
So,
awesome.
favorite. What was the other part of this tweet? Favorite cars?
Yeah.
Favorite car.
What's your favorite car, CJ?
My favorite car?
I already know Phil likes the silver ones.
The one with wheels
Yeah.
that you can drive. I really
Steve,
don't.
Phil's joke was better. You don't have any favorite car at all?
No.
Are we talking in a game or
Yeah, because I mean that could go on and on.
I'm going to say
in a
the...
game? You got to go with the car from the original Spy Hunter. It was so versatile.
Yeah.
Actually, racing games, the Spy Hunter remake for like the PS2 Xbox.
That was
incredible.
really fun. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really wish they'd
actually
do
was.
something like that again.
It
Well,
actually
there is a
was.
Spy Hunter game for the Vita.
I heard it's not good.
It is not.
Yeah.
Favorite car
Go.
is the Ecto 1.
Good answer.
So, there you go.
Good answer.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
My
I got nothing.
my favorite car is actually a boat. It's Night Boat, the crime-solving boat.
All right.
How about the next tweet?
All right. Let's do this one from Agrilius Docky, who asks, have any of you dabbled in making games on your own before? Using Basic, Unity, or otherwise, would you consider trying again?
Pinball construction kit.
Yeah.
Back on the old Commodore 64, pinball construction set, one of those.
Yeah.
I also Click and Play. Click and Play back
I
in
remember
the day.
that. Yeah.
I messed around with
remember that one.
Click and Play a bit.
I used to, like, way back in the day, I used to try to make games in Basic on the Apple II.
Oh, yeah?
Didn't
How'd that
work
work
so
out
well.
for you?
Didn't.
I've never actually done that. All I would like to try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know when I'd
me
find
too.
time, but
I'd
Bring
like
him
to
over,
try
huh?
a Unity game. That'd be fun.
Look, he might be a little fussy.
Anyway.
Okay.
Here, do you want him?
Hey, you know what? That's a segue.
Yeah?
That's a segue. Don't. There you go. Here, my
Yeah,
wife is trying. My wife is
Oh,
trying
crap.
some Dinamitas. Yeah, they're hot. Why did you just grab them?
and she stuff like never mind.
My wife just grabbed a couple of the Doritos Dinamitas and shoved them in her mouth and just instantly went, "Holy crap!" Not expecting them to be.
That's why they're called Dinamitas.
Yeah. I don't think you didn't look at the bag first, did you?
No.
I
I mean,
I forget-
Dinamita. I
Yeah.
don't know.
They're hot.
That-
They're like
That's
spicy.
Spanish for
Now
these
that-
bitches is hot.
Yeah.
now that Finn is on the show,
Dynamite.
I
Yeah.
do have to say I forget who made the joke on the NeoGAF thread, but they were absolutely
Oh, yeah.
right. The resemblance between father and son, where he got a little laugh out of saying "uh-oh," wasn't it?
Yes.
And proceeded to do it
Uh-oh.
over and over and over again,
Yeah.
just like Dad.
Aww.
Well, if
One
you do it
little
enough,
laugh.
it becomes funny again. That's the thing. That's the thing. He
Rule number
knows.
one of comedy.
Learning from the best. No, the making your own games, and now the presence of a child on the show
Mhm.
is a nice segue into did you guys see this Donkey Kong thing?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
right.
The hacked Donkey Kong?
No, so what is this?
Okay, so Mike Micah, who
Oh, I know
Oh,
Mike.
that's who
Okay.
it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, Mike Micah, we know him. I used to work with him back at Digital Eclipse.
Mhm.
He has a couple kids. He has a daughter who is 3, and Mike is he's a hardcore old school gamer. This guy has a sit down Star Wars arcade machine in his basement. He has like 3 original Pong machines.
Isn't he the one who has like the amazing, just in general, the amazing collection?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that the guy? Like he's got,
Doesn't he? He has a
pretty famous
hatch,
for that.
like where in the basement you have to like climb down a ladder to get to his basement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you heard of this? Go look it up, Mike. You'll be impressed.
Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah, you go into like a closet in his house, and there's a hatch in the floor.
That's right.
That you lift up, and then there's a ladder that descends down into his little gaming dungeon.
Cellar.
And that's where he keeps the GIMP.
Yep. And the sit-down Star Wars
version.
arcade machine.
Oh, well, yeah, you got to keep the GIMP entertained when you're not using him.
Yeah. But yeah, no, he has this amazing collection of old school, just everything. And he's also a programmer. You know, he made games, and you know he's been making games for ages. But yeah, he has a 3-year-old daughter who loves Donkey Kong, the original Donkey Kong game, and apparently she was playing it a couple days ago, and was wondering if she could play as Pauline, the girl you rescue, because she's played like Mario 2, where you get to play as Peach. So she wanted to play as the girl in this game. And so Mike's response to that was to bust out an NES ROM and start hacking it. So, you know, just swapping sprites, and he actually had to, sort of draw a custom sprite because Pauline is much taller than Mario. Yeah,
large, right?
Right. But yeah, he was just making it for his daughter, and he posted it on Facebook a couple days ago, and I was just like, oh, his friends were commenting how cool it was, and apparently one of his friends decided to share it with the internet, and it blew up, and ended up on the front page of Reddit. And
has he posted the cease and desist letter for everyone to read too?
Oh man. But yeah, he finished it, and he took some footage. It's up on YouTube now, but so you can go check it out. But yeah, it's fantastic. I mean,
it's very cool.
It looks really great. It's a cool thing, and it's amusing. There's a thread on the NeoGAF about it, and listening to some of the people on there trying to paint this as a bad thing, and how it is ill preparing his daughter for reality, where anyone can just hack a game to make it a girl is going to set her up for unrealistic expectations, and
obviously
crap like that. It's amazing the pissy negative spin some jackasses on the internet will try and put on anything. But yeah, Mike is an awesome guy. And yeah, he proposed to his wife through Clax on the Game Boy Color.
Was it the 90s, and was there time for that?
There was. No, he programmed the Game Boy Color version of Clax back in the day for when he was at Digital Eclipse.
I love that.
And
yeah, me too.
And he just I guess because he was bored, and because they had a lot of extra space on the ROM, he just threw in like all sorts of little random secrets and just goofy images and stuff like that. And one of these secrets that he hid in there was a picture of himself and his girlfriend at the time, and a little message asking her to marry him. And they were dating for a long time. That message stayed dormant in that cart for like 3 years.
Wow.
And it was revealed in like the 100th issue of Tips and Tricks magazine. He told them the trick, and they actually printed it in that issue. So he left the game out with like a copy of the magazine for his girlfriend. And so she put the trick into the game and saw the proposal, which
it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
cool.
Pretty outstanding foresight on that.
I thought the way that story was going to go was that she couldn't marry him until she set a high score in Clash. It's like, no, but I don't like this game. No, really, just keep playing.
Keep playing. You're getting good at it.
God.
Almost there. We got a kill screen coming up.
Yeah.
Clash kill screen.
Oh man. But yeah, it's awesome. But check out the video and see it. It's pretty cool. So
that's cool.
Yep.
All right, Hacker. Let's end with this one, shall we?
Always risky.
It's a risky one. Hacker alias HSK1998 asks, have you ever been addicted to a game, not sexual favors for game time addicted, that's weird, but seriously ignore responsibility and people to play it?
Every day.
World of Warcraft.
Really?
Yeah, for about a year. I would come home from work and eat dinner while I played World of Warcraft. And
God!
Until I went to bed.
Dang.
How are you still married?
Yikes.
Were you like level 70 or bust?
I never level 60 was the cap at the time, and I never made it to level 60 because I was a priest and I didn't like to play with other people, and I got to the point where I couldn't really solo the game very well anymore. Yeah, I didn't like to play World of Warcraft with other people. How do you like that?
I don't blame you.
You're a mystery wrapped in an enigma, my friend.
Racist.
Those people are nerds. You know, you don't want to be associated with those people.
But I was hopelessly addicted to that game. Absolutely.
That's crazy.
Yep.
I was addicted to Phantasy Star Online.
Oh yeah.
For quite a while. God.
PSO's the way to do it.
I would come home from work and play that until like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah, same here.
I got nothing.
So how you judging me?
Well, it didn't last a year.
Oh, mine lasted a year.
And he also wasn't married with children at the time.
True.
That's
I think that makes mine more logical, not less.
You're right, actually. But I also don't know how you got away with it for a whole year.
Yeah.
There must have been some pretty... There must have been some tense times centered around the fact that you're spending so much time on World of Warcraft.
Maybe. Yes.
All right, that's our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening.
No problem.
Head on over to player1podcast.com/333. You'll get the show notes on this episode, and you can post your feedback in the comments right there. Yeah,
nice.
How do you like that?
You can also visit player1podcast.com/dormerbot.
You can, yeah, and you get the Dormerbot episode.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
You think you're so clever now with your little naming conventions.
Yeah.
Damn right.
It's pretty cool.
That Dormerbot episode is hilarious.
It is.
Funny. Anyway, and while you're at player1podcast.com, you can check out blog entries, like the one that Stewie just did on Joe Montana football for the Sega CD.
Terrible, terrible sports game.
It is a terrible game.
Oh, man, it was bad.
Really bad. Then you can link directly to our Twitter account, our YouTube channel, Google+. You have subscription information there, and there's a message board where you can discuss this very episode and other topics like SimCity with us and our other listeners.
If you'd like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by going to the iTunes Music Store. While you're at the iTunes Music Store, you can also invest $1.99.
Cheap.
I should teach him to say cheap, and then we can...
That would be really good.
Nothing to do during the
kick
outros.
Greg off the show. To pick up the Player One Podcast iPhone application, gives you one-touch communication with us via the voicemails, the emails, the Twitter, what have you. You also have all of our episodes ready to stream right to your listening device. And hey, Android cell phone telephone users, the Player One Podcast iPhone application.
He's really enjoying this outro.
Device as well for that same $1.99.
Also cheap.
You can find that right over there on the Amazon Android Marketplace. And, yeah. We're on Stitcher.
Yes, we are.
We're on Stitcher.
Stitcher
You
Radio.
can also... Yes. You can also check us out live. You can watch a live streaming video version of this every week on the YouTube. So follow our Twitter to find out when you can see us live. Finn finds you amusing, CJ.
Yay!
Yeah. Yeah. CJ?
Yes? Yeah?
Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Phil.
Thank you. Greg?
Yo!
Look up.
I can't. I'm racing.
Stop playing Real Racing 3, damn you.
But I'm right behind Mormon Rage.
This is why we kicked Ford off the show because
true, I remember.
he would play games while we recorded.
Hang on.
And now we can
5,
see you playing
That
games
is
while we
inexcusable.
record.
record.
You cannot.
2, 1. Okay, I've been eliminated. Yes.
Did you win?
No.
I
You
didn't
did not.
lose.
Oh, okay. But you didn't win.
Hey, so you should go check out Generation 16. Not
CJ?
you. I know you have.
You should.
I
There are
love
links
Generation 16.
to Generation 16 from PlayerOnePodcast.com now.
I plugged it on the NeoGAF.
Oh,
so,
I meant to say thank you for the banner, Phil. I hear that was your doing.
yeah, I knew you would never do it because you're
You're
a
right.
lazy piece of duty.
Duty.
So I made one for you.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah, I snuck the number 9.5 in there somewhere, very tiny. That's not true. I didn't actually do that.
That would have been great, though.
It would have.
I'm closing in on the end of the next episode, by the way. Should be
Oh,
episode.
good. I am excited. Mike,
Yes.
thank you.
I just want to state
Thank you.
categorically that I think playing games while podcasting is one of the most inconsiderate things you can possibly do.
If I turn that camera around, I know you're playing something. Just a run or two.
What?
Yeah.
playing Run or Two right now?
How many times have we seen you look down to your left there doing something with your iPad?
No, it's where I'm looking right now that you should be questioning, but that's okay. Yes. What? Goodbye.
playing
Thank
Madden,
you. And
or-
yes.
What's wrong, Finn? Okay, I'm going to see how Finn likes one of these dinamitas, and then we'll know.
All right. I think that means
Keep the
next
camera
week,
on.
That.
we're going to be
Yeah.
back next week.
Yes.
That's the plan.
Yeah. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.